The violent legacy of the militant group known as the Islamic State, or ISIS, is still being felt in large parts of Iraq and Syria. More than 10 million people were forced to leave their homes, and the cities of Mosul and Raqqa were largely destroyed. Journalist Sira Thierij travelled to northern Iraq and met Kurdish villagers who still live with the danger of hidden explosives.
A country haunted by the memories of war. These buildings were destroyed a decade ago when the so-called Islamic State advanced towards Mosul. Once lively neighborhoods became ghost towns. For 3 years, Sira Thierij lived under the horrors of ISIS. And for 3 years, she didn't dare leave her house. Armed militants were roaming the streets, kidnapping girls from her school and punishing everyone who didn't comply with their strict religious rules.
I heard gunshots, so I ran outside, and this is where I found my dead husband. I held him in my hands while he died. ISIS took away my youth. It was my biggest dream to go to university, but the terrorists destroyed every single one of my days.
Traumatic memories aren't the only thing ISIS left behind. 10 years on, entire villages still lie in rubble and bear hidden dangers.
This village was at the front line of the battle between ISIS and the Kurdish forces. One night, people received a phone call saying that ISIS was just half an hour away, and almost everyone managed to flee. They did eventually come from those hills over there, and they were shooting at everyone who was still in the village. When people managed to return years later, they found their place completely destroyed and covered in landmines.
Wyatt Musin fought against ISIS during that time. He says the militants rigged his home and other houses with explosives.
This wall was completely destroyed. They used it as a corridor to move between houses. They connected an IED here with a gas can. Because the first thing people need when they come back home is gas to cook, right? And when you touch it, the booby trap will explode.
Wyatt tells me that several villagers have died in such explosions.
Iraq is one of the most heavily mined countries in the world. Layers after layers of mines have been planted here throughout the many wars and conflicts over the last decades.
Clearing all the contaminated land is a job for generations to come. But there's a group of people, including many local women, who've taken on this dangerous task. Sira is one of them. Removing what ISIS left behind has become her life's purpose.
I don't want anyone to ever see what ISIS did to me or what they've left behind.
So she and her team carefully examine the land with their metal detector. One wrong step could be deadly.
We never know what to expect, but that doesn't stop us. We're not only here to save our own lives, but those of so many people. We want them to finally play again, come here with their children, or just go for a walk without fear.
For Sira, working to rid her country of the Islamic State's legacy is a goal worth fighting for. And with every bomb she clears, her painful memories fade a little more into the distance.